gonna be a rough day for Chuck today. Both of our teams in trouble today. And I wish I could have some hope. Because, I'm a 76er and a Suns fan, but this is going to be rough.
As usual, the Chuckster spot on with a prediction as we welcome you to the halftime report presented by Kia. Ernie Johnson with Shaq and Kenny and Chuck. I know you said it, but did you believe it would be like this?
I did, because they're both good defensive teams. Your defense is always going to be consistent. Like, if you're an offensive team, sometimes you don't make shots. But when you're the Celtics and you're OKC, two of the elite defensive teams, defense always travels, Ernie. You know that.
65-44 is your halftime score.
Or, Chuck, your two favorite teams ain't no good.
No, Ernie, Shaq, they're not bad teams. But like I say, your offense is going to come and go. You're not going to make shots all the time. Look at this defense, man.
These boys ain't going to beat OKC. Stop it.
No, they're not going to, but this is a beatdown.
And look, when you're going to turn the ball over, you're walking right into OKC's kitchen.
Well, not only turn it over, and you're taking tough shots.
Yeah.
Jalen Green, Devin Booker, and even Dylan Brooks at times, they're tough shot makers. But against the Oklahoma City, you have to pass up a good shot to get a better one. They have refused. The first shot of the game was a dictator of what everything was. They took a long-range three early in the shot clock, hands in their face. I'm like, well, Chuck, you might be right. This is going to be a super long night.
They're 7 out of 24 from deep. Let's take a look at the halftime highlights presented by Kia and see the departments in which OKC
Shout out to my boy Percy at Kia. I got to get me a new Kia.
OKC is dominating. Talked about those points off turnovers. They average 22 a game, which is best in the league. They got 21
off turnovers?
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yes, it is. And in the paint, they're up 20, 32-12. That's where we're going to, of course, we'd go to the Shaq in the paint.
That's right. I'm the master of the high percentage shot. Chuck is giving his 2P teams too much credit. They aren't really that good in the showing, especially right here defensively. They're just letting OKC do whatever they want. Get right there, no resistance at all. Great Phil Jackson used to always say, gotta have some resistance on defense. These guys are showing no resistance, turning the ball over, and OKC just getting out, flying, doing what they do. High percentage points in the paint. And I hate to say it, Chuck, but you got 3 more beatdowns coming. It's gonna be real quick. You might as well send them to Lake Havasu.
The other thing about that is, I was blessed to play with great coaching. And the one thing is...
please, let's not go into that again.
I just shouted out Phil Jackson.
When?
I know.
When?
Just a second. The great Phil Jackson used to say.
Thank you.
But you said coaching don't matter.
No,
please, that's why I was just asking. Please, let's not get into coaching.
That's it. Just give your great players the ball.
Ernie, it's not a mistake to turn the basketball over. That happens in a game. The mistake is when you don't sprint back on defense. And so if you watch Oklahoma City, when they turn the basketball over, they will sprint back, then make a 3-on-2 fast break into a 3-on-3. So
and
now
the coach
they have to hold it up.
And the coach made them do that?
That's one of the, yes.
First of all,
they've only turned it over 4 times.
No, but I'm saying,
City.
But on the other way,
on the Phoenix side,
they don't sprint back.
Right.
And coaching builds habits. Habits build habits of creatures. Champions do daily what everybody else does occasionally, brother.
Right, it's all right here. It's all right here.
Yeah, no, coaching matters.
You keep making excuses.
Ain't nobody making excuses, but coaching matters.
And then he shouted out the triangle offense the other day, earlier today.
Who do you think the coach of the year is, Shaq?
Oh, this going to be good.
Huh?
Who's the coach of the year?
I'm going to go with Ime Udoka.
Oh, my God.
I thought you were going to say Wembanyama.
I don't know his coach.
Ime Udoka's a very good coach. He's not.
We welcome you back inside Studio J. We often talk about running through the tape on this very broadcast, and there was a great example of that today in the Delaware Marathon, because Joshua Jackson is coming from behind while the guy in first place is celebrating, and it's Joshua Jackson.
Oh, come on, man.
Splitting the series as you see here. What do you expect, though, Ashley, for Game 1 today? Look, the Phoenix Suns, they are a good defensive team, and that is why the matchup between them and Portland was so exciting and so fun to watch. Offensively, they struggled in the first half, which ultimately I think they were just constantly playing catch up in that game, and the Trailblazers took advantage of that. But in this particular series, you're talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Defensively, they're great. Offensively, they're great. And when we talk defensively, we're talking OKC, the top-rated defense in the NBA during the regular season this season. They're just deep from every single corner of this roster. It doesn't have to be SGA every single night. There are just so many other guys around him that not only support him, but also are stars in their own right. I don't believe the Phoenix Suns have a chance. I do believe that they'll make it interesting in some of these games. Some of these games may be a lot closer than people anticipated. I would be very surprised, though, if this Oklahoma City series against the Phoenix Suns goes past 5 games. I just think the Thunder are drastically better than Phoenix in this one.
All right, let's get to the Magic and Pistons, both looking to snap their series droughts. The Magic have not won a series since 2010, and the Pistons have not won a series since 2008. Who do you think gets on the right foot in Game 1?
So this series is interesting because if you're Detroit, you really wanted Charlotte, because Charlotte would have been a way easier opponent for the Detroit Pistons. The Orlando Magic, yes, I know that they have struggled throughout the entirety of the regular season with health, and then Paolo Banchero just has not taken that leap that we've expected somebody who has been in the league as long as he has to take. I think that he has all the makings to be a true star in this league, superstar in this league. We just haven't seen him take those. We haven't seen him hit those benchmarks. He's still not very reliable from the 3. His mid-range game is almost non-existent. He just relies so much on his size to drive it into the paint, and you need a deeper bag than that. But I say that this is a team that's going to cause some issues for the Detroit Pistons because they're just as big, they're just as physical, and they like to play that way. Which is why if you're Detroit, you can't take them lightly, because the Orlando Magic are kind of like a conundrum in the sense you never know which version of the team you're going to get. There's versions of the team that you're looking at and you're like, wow, these guys are pretty mediocre. Like, this is not a good basketball team. And then the next time you see them, you're like, where has this Orlando Magic team been the entirety of the regular season? This is why a lot of people thought they should be a better playoff team than they are now. I say all that to say I still think the Detroit Pistons will win this, but they're going to come out of this a little beaten up and bruised up. I think that, like I said, the Magic have the size, they have the physical capabilities, they like to play that way, and so does Detroit. My only concern with the Pistons, and this is a concern I have with them, as they continue their journey, hopefully continue their journey throughout the Eastern Conference, there's a lot of reliance on Cade Cunningham to be the scorer. They don't have a lot of guys on that floor who can generate their own shot the way that Cade Cunningham does, who can put up the type of offense that Cade Cunningham does. So I'm interested to see what the game plan is for this series. If you remove Cade as much as you possibly can from scoring, the Magic may be able to make some noise and steal some games, which I expect them to do.
All right, lastly, Ashley, we get Scoot Henderson versus Victor Wembanyama in the first round. Just how great is this matchup for the future of the league, and which maybe young star has a better chance to take over a playoff series right now?
It's going to be fun. This is going to be a fun one to watch. It's going to be a sleeper, if you will. I still think the Spurs are going to come out on top of this one. They have the offense, they have the defense, but I wouldn't make it for me, this is not going to be a sweep. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, the Portland Trailblazers don't stand a chance. People haven't been watching the Portland Trailblazers this season if that's how they feel. This is a defensive team, I believe top 5 in defense this season. And also they have the offensive firepower that can go off on any given night. Now, in comparison to what San Antonio does, yes, it's not quite the same, but I definitely think that you can expect Portland to pull out a game, maybe even 2, depending on what versions of the San Antonio Spurs show up and show out. But look, Victor Wembanyama is Victor Wembanyama, and he's the alien for a reason, and I just don't think that anybody on Portland has the answer for him, which is why I think that the Spurs are going to be able to pull this one out.
It's going to be fun to watch. We get to see it all go down at 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's our nightcap. Ashley Nicole Moss joining us live here on CBS Sports HQ, but all of the action for the NBA playoffs in this first round begins at 1 Eastern with the 76ers and Celtics. More from us on the other side.